Man, I'm having one of these days. Let me fix this stupid thing. Oh gosh, you gotta be kidding me, man. This is like killing me. You know, I did all this before, man. This thing's just been like, it's just been one of them days where everything is like being goofy. Woosah. Let me just exhale here. Give me a second, people, man. I don't know what the heck's going on today, man. First, this thing didn't want to like leave portrait mode, which I never go live in. And then now, all of a sudden, this freaking stand wants to be all crooked. Man, there we go. What's it take for a niggas to get his stuff to be acting right? I need some act right. They gotta put some respect on my name, my equipment. You know what? Actually, I think I'm just gonna order me a new tripod, man. Bump this tripod, bite me, I'm gonna get a new one. Anywho, like always, let me send out these invites. Tell everybody I'm here. Tell people come get them some. Give me about 2 seconds. Let me get this up on the live so I can see the live chat. Because I can't actually do that until I actually go live. Let me put this on mute. And then we're going to get some people up in here. We're going to get started. We're going to start talking about this madness that I promised y'all I was going to talk about. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Khalil, what's good, man? Do I need some light? I guess black people in light ain't never bad. So, let me get this link on. Copy. Go to Twitter. To Twitter. And tweet. Do, 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 do. Drop this link. Back. Tweet. You know what? Actually, let me get up on. Let me try this on Facebook too. But what I'm gonna be talking about, I'm gonna give you guys a little heads up. I'm gonna be talking about this Ilhan Omar thing. I wanted to talk about this actually yesterday, but I went to the gym and I was like, I was like getting my my size on. So don't get distracted by the tweets, my niggas. Where's my? Oh, there it is. Wait. Copy this. Where is it? Yeah. Bang. Facebook. Where's my Abuamerican? Okay, dang, let's do this. Man, what up, y'all? I said it before, but it's your man, Abuamerican. Y'all know who I is, who I are. We get this open for the live chat. Where's my window at? There we go. Man, I wanted to do this, like I said, like yesterday, but I don't know. I just decided to go to the gym, man. I couldn't be bothered. Why does this look so small and funky, man? What the heck is going on today? Everything's just wrong. It's all wrong. There we go. That's better. That's better. So anyway, to be honest, man, Ilhan Omar isn't really worth a whole bunch of energy. But at the same time, I like doing these little setups on cats, and I decided to go ahead and pull one because she made the news again, like always. Don't nobody like that woman except for like Somali nationalists and feminists. Don't nobody else like that woman, and white Democrats. But otherwise, that woman, man, ugh. But anyway, she made the news recently again, being out with some Chuck. You know, Chuck. If y'all don't know, Chuck is the going term for a white dude. I don't know if he's Muslim or not. Someone made a good point. You know, she out hanging out with Muslims, but that don't make it any better because she's still Islamically and legally married to two different men. So I don't know what the heck she be doing out with him. It doesn't make a difference if he's Muslim or not, you know. And cats are like, oh, you don't know the story, this, that, the other, you know, slanders, tails spreading, and all this other stuff. Yo, if you go watch that video, I'm just ranting right now, but if you go watch that video, that dude, Chuck, he came up and he did the camera mush. He was like, bang, you know? He came up and he did the camera mush. Why do you do the camera mush? Because you creeping and you know you wrong. That's why you do the camera mush. Don't nobody, if that's, someone was like, maybe that's her lawyer. Why would her lawyer come up and mush the camera? Your lawyer doesn't mush the camera. He's a lawyer. He'll just sue you for whatever, defamation, whatever else. He'll wait for you to say something stupid in the news. And besides, he'd be proud if he was a lawyer, like, yeah, hey, look, I'm out with this. Look, become my client because this is my client. My client is Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. He's not gonna mush the camera. Niggas is stupid. You know, when people want to make excuses, and I understand, you know, excuses for your Muslim brothers and sisters, but when you want to make like an excuse that don't make any sense, people come up with the goofiest and dumbest things that defy all reasonable facts whatsoever. Let me tell you something. Ladies, you like Ilhan Omar because you're a feminist, fine. But I understand this. Any guy who goes out with a woman and then mushes a camera in his face like that, you know, like, yo, don't film me. That's a dude creeping on somebody else. Because look, let me tell you something. Let's just be honest, man. Let's be honest. She ain't the prettiest woman, but that ain't an ugly woman either. You know what I'm saying? She's not like hot. But man, in that video, man, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, man, she was looking pretty tight in them jeans. If I was out, I'd be like, yeah, girl's tight. I wouldn't be hiding if I was out permissibly. If I was out with the girl that looked like her, I wouldn't be hiding. She's not like supermodel, but she's not like dog meat. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you're ashamed of. You mush the camera as a guy when you with a fat chick and you're like, God, no, they saw me. You don't want anybody to see you with the nasty ugly. So, A, either this guy's creeping and he's mushing the camera, or B, he thinks she's ugly dog meat and he's mushing the camera because he don't want to be seen with dog meat. Which is it? Pick one. There's no other reason to mush a camera in your face filming you come out of a restaurant with a woman. Or can someone please give me a reason? Someone give me a reason. But this ain't even really about that. I'm just ranting right now. This isn't even, that right there stuck out to me. That was like just, that was bang in your face. But can someone please give me a reason why a man would camera mush, you know, the press coming out of a restaurant with a woman? Someone drop it for me, please. Because Abuamerican might be, you know, the dull knife in the drawer, you know. Someone help me out here. Yeah, indeed. He was holding hands with her. He came out. He was all like, oh, snap. The camera. Mush. Cat's like, you're being suspicious. Nah, that nigga there was acting suspicious. Chuck knew what was up. Chuck's like, oh my God, what the hell? Susie's gonna see me. Oh gosh. Yeah, man, I wish you could call in too, man. I'm actually working on it. It's actually, you know, I don't want to spend the money on it. I ain't gonna lie. To get a call-in show, you gotta pay like a monthly service fee and all this stuff. And I don't want to take one money from something else to pay for something else. Even though I'm doing that in terms of my equipment, I am working on call-ins. I am working on it, but I want this to pay for itself first. So yeah, I don't want to take anything from my whole, you know. I always say I'm gonna have my products here. Anyway, my hair products and stuff, you know, one going into the other. Anywho, so being off top, not really off topic, but just ranting right now. I mean, it's pretty obvious something shady and shifty was going on there with Congresswoman Omar and Chucky Boy. You know, this is not even in question. People will say, you're suspicious. Husnul done. Okay, fine. But again, someone explain to me the camera mush. The camera mush says it all. And the hand holding. And she put on. She put on for that. When you look at how she was dressed, she was like, look at these goods. I got the goods. And she do. That woman's built nice. MashaAllah. You know, Congresswoman, you know, Omar, man. Ooh. Speaking in a halal sense, she can get it, you know. She's, ooh, mashallah. But anyway, let's get down to the point. The entire setup there with that was The entire point was to show the difference in how she would be handled. Yeah, Khalil, man, she's married legally to one man who people suspect is her brother, and then she's married Islamically to her actual husband. I think she's in her idda now, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. What did she say? She said he's too low class or something like this, and she left him. She moved into a new apartment by herself, some extra posh apartment. I don't really follow. I just catch her news left and right here and there, because she's in the news a lot. But she left her Islamic husband. She's legally married to a different husband who people are saying is her brother, which is a different story on its own. Let me rant on that real quick. People are like, it's fake news, this, that, the other. Look, I know plenty of Africans. I mean, continental Africans. They are literally from the continent of Africa. And it's a known fact that they will marry family members that you can't marry, like your brother, your uncle, whatever else, just to get them a visa. Because that's what they're saying. They're saying she's married to her brother for visa fraud. And they marry family members as strangers, and then they get them over on a visa, and then they get divorced when the person's over here. I mean, this is known that continental Africans do it. I've heard multiple. Now, and I'm not saying when I heard multiple like through the internet. I'm talking face to face, telling me that this is what we do. I've had Kenyans tell me. I've had Somalis tell me. I've had Nigerians tell me that they do this. So I even had a Sudanese tell me they do it. So I mean, this is not like I don't know if it's true or not. I don't really care, but it just fits. It fits the script of what I know of like some of the doing. I ain't crapping on continental Africans. They want to get their little thing on, let them do whatever they do. Khalil G says she's a hot mess. What happened when Muslim women are allowed freedom in the West? Hey, absolutely, man. She a hot mess, bro. She really out just wrecking shop. We're going to get into that, too. But anyway, what was I talking about before I started ranting again? Ilhan Omar. Yeah. So anyway, basically, um, the entire setup here was to show how people would handle the indiscretions of a female woman in the limelight, aka Congresswoman Omar, and how they would handle the indiscretions of a Muslim man in the limelight. And in this particular case, I'm talking about Hassanat. Now, I'm not a fan of Hassanat for anything except for how he like slam dunked on cats with the multiple wives publicly, which actually caused his downfall. Everybody was cool with him. Everybody knew about all this dirt and all these problems with him until he came out, that he had multiple wives. And then people just freaked out. I mean, something completely and totally permissible in Islam. And the people freaked out and they went for blood. And they started making up stories that have proven to be untrue. I mean, people were literally fabricating stories. But every single thing that's out there about Ilhan Omar and that everybody mentions, you can find online with like sources, stories, backstories, and then you got them numpty Muslims talking about it's Daily Mail. It's not like it's not a valid news source or something like this. Like these dudes weren't like quoting AP News and all this stuff, and they're quoting different sources. But again, this is besides the point. The point is how the two were dealt with, and it shows you that everything I said about these people trying to make this religion of Islam, of female rights and female protectionism as opposed to the worship of Allah alone without any equals or partners, is proven 100% clearly with how the Muslims dealt with Ilhan Omar and all of her outright statements of like kufr. She's made major statements of major kufr, which if you take it to the ulama, they might kick her off the deen altogether. We ain't talking about no menhaj here. We talking about she might get thrown out of religion. She made major statements of major kufr. And Hassanat, he had some, like, what do they call it? Agnosticism. That he kept private. He didn't even go public with it. But the people went nuts about that. So here we have two people, a man and a woman. The man privately struggled with his beliefs and his ideas and his religion. Privately. And then he came back and he said, hey, you know what? I struggled for a minute, but, it's gone, this, that, the other. I had some doubts. He had some shubuhat. Maybe even, it might even be considered shak. If anybody doesn't know the Islamic term, shubahat. Anyway, shubahat doubts, shak like major doubts. And Ilhan Omar, man, woman. She's out making public statements of disbelief, calling the Sharia barbaric, calling it like, saying she's against Sharia punishments, the hudud in specific, making all these statements about how inappropriate it is for the time, it's barbaric, it's this, that, the other. She calling the religion of Allah barbaric and whatnot. And you know what? The simple fact of the matter is we have punishments in Islam that aren't going to be popular to people at this time. I don't even care if you don't like it. That's their problem. But I'm not going to call it barbaric or whatever else. Do we cut off the hand of the thief? Absolutely. Don't steal nothing, we don't cut your hand off, son. It's easy. Do we stone the fornicators? Absolutely. Don't fornicate. This is in the Muslim state. You don't just do this anywhere and everywhere, of course. This is an Islamic state. But if the Islamic state decides that, we're going to bring back stoning for fornication, you know what? Hey, that's in the book and the sunnah, man. It is what it is. I don't care if you don't like it. You don't like it, that's your problem. But her, it's barbaric. It doesn't have any place in this time. It's this, that, the other. She out here like just slandering the religion of Islam, giving the enemy of Islam, fuel and fire and bricks and bullets to throw and shoot at the deen with as a Muslim woman. And look at how everybody's like, giving her a pass. But then Hassanat comes along talking about some agnosticism that was leaked out from people in his inner circle. He kept it private. He didn't use his platform, which is huge. He's got like 750,000 followers. And that's after his scandal. But not once did he use his platform to spread his disbelief or doubt. Why is there a difference in the way that people are dealing with these two? And I'll tell you why. Because there is a very strong Captain Save-A-Ho feminine imperative inside the ranks of the Muslims. And I'm telling you something, man. We need to pull them out. How is it said in the movies? Root and stem. They need to be removed. I wish, man. And this is going to sound crazy, but I wish some like straight up like Bosnia-Herzegovina stuff would pop off again, where it's like the kuffar attacking the Muslims and killing them by thousands. I don't want Muslims killed by thousands, don't misunderstand me. But I would love for the separation to happen so that those people, we could just throw them to the wolves. I'd love to just throw them people to the wolves. They don't belong with us, man. They are enemies. They are enemies. Them people, these feminists and whatever else, they call themselves feminist Muslims and all these Captain Save-A-Ho Muslims, they need to be fed to the dogs, man. Straight up. They're the enemies of the Muslims and they're enemies of Islam. But let's carry on about this hypocrisy. Oh, sorry, some comments. Apartment A. Omar is an actress selected by the Justice Democrats to stir crap up. Same as AOC and Talib. Every move, word is calculated. I can agree with that. I don't know why Muslims are siding with the left anyway. That don't even make any sense. I mean, we got her out here dancing publicly. All this stuff can be found online. People say exposing sins. Don't expose her sins. This woman's on TV saying this stuff. This woman's on TV doing this stuff. Dancing at an LGBT gay pride carnival thing, whatever. And everybody act like they didn't see a thing there. Since when have we as Muslims been in support of LGBT, gay, trans, whatever else? When have we done this? But she gets a pass. Hassanat comes out with like multiple wives. Niggas lose their mind. They went crazy on dude. Both the men and the women. Why is there this huge separation between the way the two people are handled? Someone explain this to me. It doesn't make any sense. Unless you give it the explanation that I give it. That we have a very strong, unfortunately strong cadre, whatever you call it, large number of people in our ranks that are actually like enemies to us. I mean, find me, where is this Islamic support of the people of Lut? People, if anybody who doesn't, if you're like non-Muslim watching this, people of Lut is like the people of Lot. Them gay homosexual people. This video is going to get flagged. I don't care though. But anyway, they were going around, being gay and stuff and doing their stuff, and Allah destroyed them. You can find this in the Bible. This is in the Quran also. I don't know about the Torah or whatever else, but this is just a pretty well-known story. The people of Lot. And the Islamic stance on this is pretty clear. We are not pro-gay, pro-LGBT, whatever else. So why does she think it's even remotely appropriate to be out there dancing at a gay pride thing? Talking about she supports, LGBT rights. The reality is people are going to have to come to the conclusion that, Ilhan Omar, she's more democratic, or she's more of a Democrat and what do you call it, liberal leftist than she is Muslim. I'm not going to throw her off the religion. That's not my place. I'm not going to say she's a a disbeliever or something like that. It's not my place. It's not my business. But I will say that she is more of a liberal Democrat than she is a Muslim. And the only people defending her are Captain Save Hose, feminists, and Somali nationalists. That's it. Tell me I'm wrong. Oh, excuse me. And white Democrats. I guess black Democrats. Just liberal Democrats. I mean, white or black, doesn't matter. But that's the only people defending this woman. There's nobody else who is outright defending this woman. Because she's full of crap. She's full of crap. And Hassanat kind of exposed it. Because the guy, his condition in this case isn't as bad as hers. But the Ummah lost their crap over this dude. They went crazy. They went bonkers. And for weeks, this chick out here wilding out, running around with two husbands and a white dude on and a side white dude. She got a side dude, whoever he is, Mr. Musha Camera. Oh, it's her lawyer. Yeah, the lawyer's mushing the camera, holding her hand coming out the restaurant. But hey, whatever, She out here wilding out, dancing at gay prides, throwing the Sharia of Allah under the bus. And dudes are like, you shouldn't be talking about her. It's backbiting. It's suspicion. It's this, it's that, it's whatever else. And then cats are out here literally making up stories about this cat Hassanat. I don't even like the dude. I don't dislike him, but I don't really like him either. I'm not even defending him. I'm just saying, look at how the two situations are. This guy's condition is significantly lesser than hers. And they're chewing this guy alive. But her, she gets a pass. Everybody's like, now everybody wants to start quoting a hadith. Everybody wants to start quoting ayat. But when it came to Hassanat, when nobody trying to do none of that. That same energy was missing. Why? I'm telling you, man, it's these feminists, man. They're everywhere. And their illness, they're a plague, man. They're an absolute plague. There's so many hadiths to talk about, the condition of women. And I don't even dislike women. I like women. I got multiple women in my life. I'm never going to be off that. I like them. But you can't lead them to their own devices, man. They start just going crazy. And if you think I'm wrong, take a look at Congresswoman Omar. She wilding out. Somebody like her daddy need to come on and just be like, give her a whooping like she missed apparently when she was like 10 or something. I don't know, man. I'm not advocating violence against the Congresswoman. I'm just saying her daddy need to probably give her a spanking or something. I don't know what's up with that girl. She done lost her mind. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. And it was actually a setup, and it's, Cass didn't even notice it. Of course, obviously, because I didn't lead on until the end. That I just wanted to show the hypocrisy of how the Muslims dealt with Hassanat and how they're dealing with, Omar, and how her condition is worse, and they want to give her a pass, and how they never gave that dude 1 second of a break. What's his name? Hassanat, for statements and acts which are significantly lesser than hers. It's freaking crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm telling you, these cats, there's this saying where they say, the right wants to kill Muslims, but the left wants to kill Islam. And man, if this isn't the case, if this isn't proof, I don't know what is. Hassanat, who is Hassanat? Hassanat is I think he did Ruqya, I think. He's like some famous guy would do Ruqya. And he has quite a huge social media following. Massive. And people were all in love with him and everything. And then he was always with his wife and some other sister. And it turned out he married them both. And when he came out as married to both of them, man, people lost their mind. Everybody just turned against him. He always had some doubts and questions about him. All the suspicions and everything that people were talking about when he came out as married to multiple wives, they were always there. That he was maybe stealing money because he was collecting charity for poor organizations and whatnot. And they were saying he was stealing that money, and they were taking it and this, that, the other. Which is unsubstantiated to this day, because they were saying that he was wanted by the police for theft or something from charitable funds or whatever. But the dude's never been arrested. The cops, he even had a statement shown from the cops that they I think he did a phone call saying are you guys looking for me? It was no, I don't want nothing to do with you, man. So it's people just making up entire stories. Then they went digging into his wife's life. Apparently she had some double life or something. I don't even know if that's true or not. That's not totally substantiated. People were putting together really, really highly questionable photos, oh, look at these shoes, and then look at these shoes. And there was this uncovered woman wearing the same shoes that she's wearing, and it looked pretty good, but it's not proof. If you tried to take that into a court, it would be completely admissible. They just throw it out. They'd be man, nigga, get out of here, man. What is this? And it's basically stuff like that. But then you got stuff just black and white, clear from Congresswoman Omar. You can see this on the news. You can see her talking. You can see her out dancing at gay parades, running, cutting and running with multiple men. You can see this black and white. Her even admitting that she has a Sharia husband. She admitted this. It's you can find it in the news. She admitted, I have a husband legally, and I have a religious husband. So she's like, oh, I'm going through a divorce legally, but I do have a religious husband. This, that, the other. She literally admitted this. That she's married to two men. Okay, one is Shari. I don't even know how that works Islamically, man. Someone have to ask a sheikh about this, man. Someone got to get some ilm on this for me. Can you legally be married and then Islamically married as a woman to two different guys? I don't even know if that's possible or if that's allowed. I don't know. I don't care. That's beyond the scope of what I'm trying to talk about here. But I mean, everything that you find about her can be what the hell? Can be found online, black and white, reported in multiple sources. This, that, the other. Everything about Hassanat is like just pure, like unsubstantiated, not totally clear, whatever else. And like I said, I'm not even trying to defend this cat. So it just goes to show that when you talk about the feminist imperative, man, it is far more powerful and it's far more established, far more entrenched amongst the ranks of the Muslims than I ever thought it was. You know, I it just clicked in my head when I saw like the muted response of the Muslims in regards to this woman and her actions, and I was like, what? Why is everybody like so cool with this woman out here like making statements of kufr, cutting and running on the streets with multiple dudes, just out gay pride dances, dancing in the streets? I'm like, what the hell? Yo, I don't know, man. Someone tell me I'm wrong. I'm here to hear that I'm wrong. Someone drop it. Someone tell me, Abuamerican, you're a hot mess. You making stuff up. It just looks crazy. Someone tell me, man, because I find the way they get angry when you call her out, but then they want to eat brothers alive. I find that madness, man. You even see this on like, just look unrelated topics, man. Sorry, man, this thing right here is bothering me. What the hell is this, man? Got a spot on my photo, man. I got this like drone photo up on my wall, man. There's like this spot on here, man. I don't know who's spilling stuff on my stuff. Anywho, sorry, he's distracting me. I'm gonna look this way. Anyway, I was on like Facebook, man. That's a big mistake. Don't go on Facebook. Facebook's for stupid people, and I'm in a few polygyny groups over there. And just like the way cats like literally are consistently throwing brothers under the bus, while women are out here doing the craziest things. It just again shows you that we have in our ranks a mentality of feminist Captain Save-A-Ho, and the females it makes sense to be feminist. It don't make no sense for brothers to be Captain Save-A-Ho. I'm not calling sisters hoes, but what I'm saying is that mentality and that behavior we refer to as Captain Save-A-Ho. It don't make any sense for brothers to be talking about sisters look out for this type of brother. What are you talking about, man? Why is that your business? Is that your daughter out there? What you worried about? That's her Waleed's business. Whatever else. What you know about them brothers? They're making like blanket statements and just throwing blanket brothers under the bus, with some crazy stuff. And I was listening to what's his cat name? I think he's this gay guy. What's his name? Jack Donovan, I think it is. Is that his name? Jack Donovan? He made the book. He wrote the book The Way of Men. And this just comes back into like cats talking about what's a good man and being good at a man, and guys are like taking their concept and their idea of being a good man and transferring it over to like everybody else and trying to throw cats under the bus with it. It's that Captain Save-A-Ho mentality, and it's no different with Senator Omar and Hassanat. It is completely acceptable for like apparently I'm not saying it is, but it's apparently completely acceptable to throw Muslim men under the bus for their lesser sins than some sister out here doing whatever else. It reminds me of like this one situation. Some sister in, I think it was Leeds or something. She was out twerking on some Kaffir guy. Some Kaffir guy was like out doing some street show, and she shows up and starts twerking on the guy. And then everybody, including some of these Ali Dawa type guys, I'm not saying it was him specific, but it was these type of guys. They started making these videos. Oh, you shouldn't be spreading the video. The stuff's on YouTube with like million something views. You shouldn't be spreading the video. It's spread, man. What y'all talking about? Trying to cover her. She's dead wrong. And I'm not saying that you got to go out and trash her or anything, but it's like, stop trying to cover up the tracks, man. Cats is like, someone might wife this girl up, man. But then a brother, he comes along, makes a mistake. Like we had a brother in the UK. He made a mistake, and cats tore him to pieces. I ain't gonna say his name. I got a little bit of love for him. He got like some mental issues, but I got a little bit of love for him because I met him personally. But he got caught out, with like with Becky, and he was like armed up with Becky holding like an alcohol bottle, and I don't know. He had some issues with some marriages. They ate that guy alive. Completely inappropriate the way they reacted and the way they treated that dude. But he's a guy. Then here we got the sister doing something significantly more public than this guy. Because this guy who got called out, he was like creeping. Again, camera mush creeping. And he got busted. She was out like just doing some crazy goofy stuff for attention. Just showing that she has no particular high out whatsoever. She wasn't even trying to hide it. And everybody came out of pocket like, yo, what y'all doing? The sister's going through whatever else. Nobody asked what that brother was going through. That brother was apparently going through it, man. And cats just threw him under a bus. Why is there this huge difference in the way that we deal with brothers and sisters in the deen? Why? Everybody, and what's crazy is this. The moment you start talking about, the religious stance in Islam, that men have a higher position than women, everybody say, oh, we're all equal in Islam. Yeah, we're equal in like the way we're judged. Absolutely. So why is it that, there's no equal judgment in the way that like men and women are doing public sins? Why is it that the men get thrown under the bus and women get like this protection? What's the difference? It's that feminist Captain Save-A-Hole imperative, man. That's what it is. And Senator Omar really brings it to light like nothing before. The absolute deadening, deafening silence by everybody except for that guy Daniel, I can't even say his name, Hakikatu or whatever his name is. He's the only one out there talking about it. There ain't nobody else out there talking about the madness that this woman is out here doing in the name of the deen. And everybody can say she's not doing it in the name of the deen, she's doing it in the name of her job. But she out there rocking her job, talking about she Muslim, this, that, the other. And, every opportunity she gets, she drops that she's Muslim. Riding that ticket, that what do they call it? Sectional feminist, hey, uh, what is it? Man, what's it called? There's a word for it. If you're disabled, if you're trans, if you're black, and you got this ranking of, victimhood and where you stand, she riding the black immigrant feminist Muslim stance thing, whatever. I don't know if she called herself a feminist. Let me not say that, but she riding that whole ticket. I'm immigrant. I'm a woman of color. I'm woman. I'm Muslim. She riding that whole ticket right there, and part of that is being Muslim. And she out here saying stuff about the Sharia of Allah and going all crazy. Why are cats giving us a pass? Why? Explain it to me. If we're all equal in Islam, why aren't we equally throwing her under the bus? Why is it all of a sudden that the brothers don't get a pass and the sisters do? Muslim Matt can't even be in positions of leadership. Absolutely, man. You can read this in the book of leadership, Sahih Muslim. I think it's in volume 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can find that there, man. And I just find this crazy and I want to talk about that. I'm going to write an article about it. I'm going to drop proof. I'm going to drop like all her statements, articles, links, whatever else. And just like, compare the two and ask why. Why is there this crazy hypocrisy amongst the Muslims and their behavior when it comes down to like public shaming and attacks on people? And when you look at it, when you look at the difference between the two, you find without question that the difference is gender and there's nothing else. Since when has that been the case with Muslims, man? When did we start becoming like these crazy, hanging out with the left? I guess you're going to become the left, Birds of a feather flock together. And when we find that like a bunch of Muslims start hanging out with these leftists, that's what they start doing. They start viewing the world from the leftist perspective, apparently. So people got to decide one day what you're going to be. You're going to be like more upon Islam, or you're going to be more upon like, liberal leftist, whatever. I don't even, what are them people on other than madness, man? Hypocritical of the Muslims to do that. Not the hypocrisy in terms of the fact, but like hypocrisy and just like, what are you, in your logic? Where is this coming from? And I had to really stop thinking about it. It's like, I'm not saying Islam and the Muslims are impervious to like feminism, but definitely we have a very solid foundation against it all. But obviously we're suffering to a greater degree from this trash ideology of the left than I thought. And this current fitna that she has put herself into again. And nobody else put her in that situation but her. And then nobody, she understands she's a public figure. So why did she think she should creep? She could creep and get away with it. I don't know. But nobody put her in that position except for her. Nobody else exposed her except for her. And, that just made it very obvious that the Muslims got a serious problem with like being just, and that there is a feminist slash feminine tribalism going on in Islam, and also, man, and y'all know how I feel about my Somalis, but man, some of y'all, man, got to drop that tribalism, man. Ain't everybody good for you. Just because they Somali don't mean they perfect, man. Some of y'all, man, got to drop that garbage. So, yeah, I just find that crazy. Anyway, I just want to let that rant out, man. I'm basically done already. I've been ranting this whole video. What's up? Anybody got something for me? Yo, what happened? I think I'm disconnected. Can you guys still hear me? Am I still live? Okay, cool. Sometimes, man, my stuff just randomly disconnects. So anyway, I don't have anything else, man. I was just ranting, and I thought that was very curious how old girl, you know, exposed a lot of people for what they really are. Feminists, Somali nationalists. What else did I say? There's something else. Nothing good. Nothing good at all. I don't know. Okay. Jazakallah khair, Muhammad and Khalid. So I don't know if anybody got nothing else for me. I just want to put that up here. In your opinion. In my opinion, yes. Please continue. Yeah, in my opinion, that's the only people. Sorry. There's more. In your opinion, are Muslim women even worth marrying? Yeah, absolutely, man. There's some good sisters out there, bro. Just they're very difficult to find in the West. I'd be, you know, there's this big battle going on in like the manosphere part of the world right now about vetting. But vetting in terms of the non-Muslims is a little bit more complicated than it is for us as Muslims, because as Muslims we have a foundation on which to vet from, which is unchanging. From the day you recognize and understand, hey, I am Muslim, I'm going to be practicing Islam, there is a set standard of decorum that you are expected to follow, aka from the book and the Sunnah. The Quran and the Sunnah set the standard for your behavior. So when we start vetting women, it's not in the same way. Don't listen to these guys out there, and I'm not throwing them under the bus, but like guys like Black Label Logic, that guy Carl, and I don't have anything against these guys, Rhinestone, all these guys, and Rollo Tomasi. They talk about vetting and how it's like, this, that, maybe not so perfect or whatever else. But in Islam, it is a perfect system, because the moment a person, like I said, chooses to follow Islam, you have a clear system in which to vet them from. And so, absolutely, you can go out and you can marry sisters, and you can vet them based upon the principles of Islam and the standards of Islam, which are unchanging. They never change. So the same standard that applies when she's 20, Islamically, is the same standard that applies when she's 40. Despite the fact that in her 20s, she's going to be in one phase, because Rollo Tomasi breaks down the phases that a woman goes through from like 20 to 40. Her standard of decorum in terms of her personality, beliefs, acts, whatever else, is the same from 20 to 40, because the system of Islam doesn't change regardless of your age. She's still expected, as you are, as a man, this is universal for men and women, to behave in a particular way from the day you recognize you become, cognizant and mature enough to practice Islam, aka from when the Salah becomes obligatory upon you until the day you die. So vet these women based upon Islamic principles. They're absolutely worth marrying. It's just, man, it's a lot of work vetting and going through all these sisters. And I'd say most definitely, if you can look somewhere other than the West, look other than the West. Because sisters in the West are a hot mess, man. This is going to be part of the video series that I've been working on. I've recorded like quite a bit, over an hour worth of material. for this video series that I'm doing for London, just talking about this type of stuff, that the amount of work you have to put in to like, check out these sisters and find out what they're on, man, they're a hot mess, bro. A lot of these sisters are out there, anyway, let me not say anything that's gonna put a bunch of people in doubt and it's incorrect. I don't want to have what's no done on my sisters, but let's just say the sisters I ran into were very problematic. And I matched when I was in London. I was in London 8 days, and between two apps, I matched with something like 17 sisters. And I didn't run into one. I met four of them, and I didn't run into one that wasn't into some kind of like dirt, man, that wasn't like on something crazy. I mean, I don't even want to go into details, man. I mean, it's just nuts what they're doing. So you got to be extra careful when dealing with these sisters from the West. You have to dig deep, and you don't want to be direct about it, because then of course they're going to clam up and close off, and they're going to run off to some guy who's just thirsty and not going to ask any questions. I mean, maybe that's just fine anyway, especially if they're a trash sister. But yeah, it's worth marrying sisters still. You just really got to put in more work to find those ones that are going to have the attributes that you want, in terms of, having children with them, having a life with them, marrying them, and being able to like turn your back and not have to worry about it. So yeah, they're worth it, man. Because I mean, what's your options? You're gonna marry a non-Muslim, try to convert her, and then she's just a different version of what you already have a pick from, in the field in terms of like Muslims. Because I mean, really, we're at the point where we're what do you say? You've been an oasis in dark times. I've been going through as far as my divorce is concerned. Yeah, bro. Jazakallah khair. I like bringing benefit to the people, if I can. It's unfortunate about a divorce, bro. I don't like to hear about people splitting up in their families and whatnot. Anybody who's done a one-to-one with me, contrary to popular belief, I get these cats stupid fly, trying to throw me under the bus. Abuamerican, marry, divorce. I don't advise people to divorce. You can find anybody on a one-to-one who said Abuamerican's advice was divorce, except in the worst and extreme cases. We did have some cases where sisters out just like doing stuff. It's like, bro, if you don't divorce her, I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna kick you in the nads, because you obviously ain't thinking with your head. So we need to knock your nads out so that your head can do the thinking for you for 5 minutes. But it's been like extreme cases. Like I think that's like one or two where it's been like that. So anyway, what was I talking about, man? I got the side railed like a mole there. Anyway, I'm glad to help brothers, man. And if you're going to marry these sisters out here, you got to look at your options. That's where we were. We were talking about what are your options about marrying sisters. So you got the options to get marrying sisters, or marrying a non-Muslim and trying to convert a non-Muslim and marry her, or whichever the order of operation. It made crazy flies in this weather. This crazy order of operations that you need to pick on how you're going to do it. Convert her, marry her, get her convert, whatever else. At the end of the day, when you look at the environment that you're in, you're going to have to come to the conclusion that the women are all displaying similar attributes, which are basically, feminine imperative, feminist ideologists, feminist type behaviors. You're not really going to find a huge differentiation in terms of these behaviors. So, and then you find generally Muslim women, even when they fall off the rails, they want to generally get married, have kids, and have that happy Islamic life, even if they don't know how to do it. But that's easy to vet for, because you can like really separate those women and say, hey, you know what, she wants it, but she's not really taking the actions and the steps to do it. Example, I met this sister. I didn't like meet her face to face, but I met her on I met her through an app here. She's a German sister, German half, I think it was Algerian, and she really wanted that happy wife, happy life, Muslim family, whatever thing going on. But the girl was just a hot mess, man. I mean, she was doing stuff that was just absolutely crazy, and I had to cut her off, man. She was just nuts. Some of them want it, but they don't know how to get it, because they can't. They're so broken and so damaged from just cutting and running and following Western society, and then realizing every single time that they do something, oh, you know what, I'm wrong. Let me go get married. That's my solution. And then they want to go get married, but then that's not the solution to their problems. It's always like when people talk about they want to make hijrah. There's nothing wrong with making hijrah. but they want to try and escape West and Western corruption and this, that, the other because of the effect it has on them. Yeah, but you're the problem. So if you just go from one place to the next, you're taking the problem, aka you, with you. You need to fix you and then go somewhere else. And this is something that people fail to understand from like the hadith of the man who killed 99 men. He was looking to change himself. He was already making the steps to change himself. So his behavior in leaving and wanting to leave the land that he was in, based upon advice, the change was already taking place. But most people, they just want to go and they want to have easy mode. And it's not easy mode, man. This is the life, man. This is the test, So it's the same thing. Vetting those sisters for who wants to be it and who actually being it. And there are the sisters out there who are actually being it, even if they do have some bad ideology in terms of like, feminist ideology and behaviors creeping into their mannerisms. That can be easily undone. It can be unknotted. I've done it. There's been like 2 sisters. They're still hanging around. They're still in the cut. I see them online on multiple platforms talking that feminist stuff. But then the moment I like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Whatever else, they're complete pussycats. They drop everything and it's just like, yo, let me come wash your underwear on stones in the river. They'll do anything in order to try and be in my orbit. So it's possible. It's just work, man. Antonio says that. Antonio, no, you're absolutely right. Someone brought something to my attention. A brother brought this to my attention, like, I think it was yesterday? Yeah, I think it was either yesterday or Wednesday. Joe Bradford, he has Curious Cat. Apparently he has quite a following on Twitter, so I don't mind saying his name out here. And their sisters on his Curious Cat asking him about like trying to get non-Muslim guys to convert so that they can marry him. And the brother was like, why would they do that when there's so many brothers out here trying to get married? And this is because in their minds and in their eyes, there's already so many beta brothers out there that they don't want to marry those guys. Because beta brothers are going to have the idea that these sisters need to behave like a Muslim wife, aka you cook, you clean, you do all the kid baby diaper changing stuff. Go ahead, girl. You kick over my stand though, we're gonna have some problems. And then these sisters don't like those guys. Because most sisters have come to the conclusion they're not gonna get the guy they really want. So now they're like, you know what? Let me go ahead and try and convert this non-Muslim guy who I don't really want, but I can at least get him and convince him that cooking and cleaning and taking care of kids and changing diapers and all that stuff is his job. He's going to have Western, egalitarian, equalist ideas in terms of, the world and relationships and marriage. So you're just aiming for these guys so that they can get those guys to do it. Because any sister who marries a guy who she truly likes, she's going to cook and clean or whatever else. She's going to scrub the floors with a toothbrush for that guy. But sisters are under the idea and under the concept that they're not going to get the guys they want. So now they're just trying to get guys who they can sell the whole thing, even though it can be proven that it's not totally correct, that, the husband does all the housework and the woman doesn't have to do any housework. They like quote various hadith and whatnot that the woman doesn't have to cook and clean in the house. And I've not found any scholar. There's a difference of opinion on it, but the vast majority of scholars hold that it is the duty of the wife to do all those things in the household, And they said according to earth, according to customs. But where in the world is it a custom that the man cooks and cleans and the woman doesn't? Find me a country in the world where it's like that. And this is where they distort and they twist things. So if you get a new Muslim guy and you tell him this, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, okay, she was born a Muslim, she was raised Muslim. And he's gonna run off and start cooking and cleaning or whatever else, and she's gonna absolutely despise him for it. And that's why we got so many single mothers and divorcees in the Ummah, like never before. Because then they marry these guys and they despise them because he's in the house cooking and cleaning. So anyway, yeah, bro, they want beta males, but they don't. They just want somebody who will do whatever they want until they get that. What is it? There's a saying. Oh, man. Be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. I tell you, man, that's definitely women, man. So, yeah, Antonio, yeah, you're absolutely right. What's up, man? Nothing. Okay, I thought you had something to say about this topic.
What? Ilhan Omar?
Yeah, about cooking, cleaning, whatever else. Lenny is over here, and she leaning up on the wall, listening. What you got to say about that? Nothing. Mashallah, man. You go get your Indonesian girl. Mashallah. They
Yeah.
good. I'm trying to give me another one.
Yeah.
What's up with your friends, man?
I got some, but they have kids.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, you got some volunteers, man. I know you got some friends without no kids.
It's worth though.
You be keeping them on the DL, be hiding them from me.
But they are a very good sister. They just end up with the wrong man.
Wait, I know you
I
got
dare.
some. I know you got friends that don't have kids, man. You stop lying, man. What?
Well, you're my age. They all have kids.
What about your French friends? I know they got some. Did you spread the network? Sorry, guys. How did I get on this topic with her? Anyway, let me get back to the topic. You over here distracting me. Anyway, Antonio makes a very good point. That another brother, he made that point recently too. It was about like 2 days ago. The brother hit me up on WhatsApp about it. It's like, why do sisters do this? And yeah, Antonio, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, man. So, anybody got something else? Anybody got something else? Because I'm off ranting about Ilhan. I don't really like her. I don't really like talking about her a whole bunch. Are there common law marriages in Europe? I don't think they do common law here. I haven't seen anything like it. Not in Germany, at least. I don't know. You can get definitely jammed up with child support and, laws here in Germany, but I don't think they have common law marriages or anything like this. Like if you live with someone for a certain amount of time, and then it's considered to be like a marriage-like union because you live with them for some amount of time. Germans don't do that type of stuff. I don't know about the rest of Europe. I know the UK is a kind of kooky like the US, but here in Germany it's not like that. In Germany they got some stupid child support, child care laws, just like the rest of the West, that don't make any sense. But yeah, I don't really know. I haven't looked. France doesn't. They've got kooky child support laws and child, what do you call it? Parental, what's the word? Like DNA testing. Almost everywhere you're not allowed to do DNA testing, on your kid without the permission of the woman. And if you do, then it's against the law. You can be fined or whatever else like that. So, hey, GK, what's good, man? My man. Hey, man, I wanted to make that hangout, bro. But you know what? Basically, when I sent you that message, I was up getting ready for work. And I think that was about the time. Sorry, I'm talking to GK on something else. Yeah, man, Shane Mosley, isn't that crazy? His wife, sorry guys, we way off topic now. But Shane Mosley, man, I posted this on my Twitter. Shane Mosley, man, his wife in a divorce tried to get the court to force him to have a vasectomy as part of the divorce proceedings. Nigga, what are they? Yo, the West is crazy, man. I can't wait to head further out east because cats over here are on some self-destructive, self-collapse craziness. But anyway, what was I talking about before that, man? It ain't working, man. So Ling Ling over here playing silly. Yeah, award the 3 of his belts, man. So anyway, yeah, I don't think common law is a thing out here. You definitely ain't gonna get if you're a world, boxing champion, cats ain't gonna take your belts and give them to your ex like they do in America. They don't do craziness like that here in Europe, that I know of. Maybe the UK, but in Germany they don't do anything stupid like that, But in terms of parental, who are your kids? If you want to get a DNA test done, they are kind of goofy on that. I don't know what the hell's up with that. You're not allowed to get a DNA test done as a man for your children. It's against the law, unless you have the permission of the woman. And if a woman, in my humble opinion, if you ask a woman for a DNA test for your kids, yeah, she's gonna be pissed. But if she says no, man, you better be making your escape plan. You better be having an escape plan ASAP, because anybody who's gonna say no to that, then you know what's up. Yeah, GK, man, the West is going crazy, bro. I don't even know what the heck that's all about, man. Their minds they are literally trying to like make the West an absolute train wreck when it comes down to like birth rates, marriage, or whatever else. It's all interconnected, and the crazier they go, the more rapid the decline is going to be. You can't tell me at this point that it's not something that's like planned. Like they're not actually trying to like wreck the West. It's like this is an intentional plan to destroy the West from the ground up. Nobody can tell me otherwise at this point. When you start doing stuff like that, Sean, and now they're just trying to basically, because Islam and the Muslims are like next in line, they're aiming for Muslims next. And then that brings us in, like I said, to the case of Congresswoman Omar. That's why do you think she's getting so much airplay? They're trying to do us next. They're trying to do us dirty like they already did their own. They're doing their own dirty, and they done messed them guys up. Now they're trying to come for us. And, we can't stay quiet about this stuff, man. We can't. Because they're going to try their best to wreck us. It's my take. It's my take. But it's a bit... Yeah. So I've been on here 56 minutes. Just ranting for 56 minutes. Anybody got something for me? If not, I'll probably call this a day. I didn't really like it, to be honest. I like interacting with you guys, but I didn't like this video. It wasn't really planned out very well. It's very kind of, in my humble opinion, incoherent, but I do like, kicking with you guys and getting on here live, which is why I stopped doing so many pre-recorded videos and I do a lot of live now, because it's actually kind of fun interacting with you guys one-to-one, over the chat and whatnot. I need to start doing like invitations and, like Khalil said, like get my call-in going on. But that call-in stuff, man, to get one caller, it's like $34 a month, man. I'm like, yo, at least give me 5. You know what I mean? So I can get 5 people calling in, $30 a month. Okay, $30 a month ain't much money at all. It's nothing. But still, this is like one caller for $35. So I do one live, one time, and one person can call in a month for $30-something. Come on, man. What? Just imagine if that was a call plan. You can call one person for $35 in a month. One person you can call in a month for $35. Yeah, you'd be like, man, get the... Everybody got unlimited call contracts nowadays, so it's kind of crazy, man. I was like, yo, you know what? I ain't even doing that. Do you think the next generation of Muslims living in the West will be able to withstand the toxicity of the West? Absolutely. Everything is cyclic. There's always things that come in full circle. And when you look at the Muslims in general, Muslims go through phases of liberalism and then extreme, conservatism. And right now we're in like an extreme liberalist type, of era. But when you look at like old pictures of Afghanistan, of Iraq, of Somalia, of all these Islamic states that are like, really like conservative right now. Take a look at them like in the 70s. Egypt, they were running around in mini skirts, short arms, whatever else. Chicks were running around like the kuffar are here in mini skirts. This was back in the 70s. And now when you look at these states, they're like the Islamic Republic of this and that, whatever. Afghanistan is a hot mess. A woman can't step outside without a burqa, without, getting a chance of being capped, in the knees by some crazy Taliban cat with an AK-47 to this day. So, these things come cyclically. What's up? I don't know. What you doing over there? You like...
Just waiting for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's why I got you that mini skirt, that super dry. So yeah, this stuff happens cyclically, amongst the Muslims, to where it's like you have like an extreme liberal time, and then they go back to an extreme conservative time. And I think, in my humble opinion, will withstand. This was going back to what I was talking about with vetting. Remember when I don't know if you were here for that, but yeah, Antonio, I think you were here for that. Maybe you were. When I was talking about vetting, you can vet Islamically because the standard is Islam, and Islam doesn't change. People have tried to change it. They like to try. It never works. They never change Islam. So that standard is universal in terms of its unchangingness. And so 20 years down the road, that standard is still going to be here, still be there. So absolutely, when the next generation of young Muslim kids come up, of course, and they start really looking at Islam as opposed to what is being practiced and what is actual Islam, they have a standard to follow. So I think that they'll be able to, because we have an unchanging standard, to follow in terms of like vetting ourselves and others, you know. But it just right now it doesn't look good, man. The problem in the U.S. is this is what GK says. GK says the problem is in the U.S. is that the current liberal era has been going for like 60 years, and I don't see an end in sight. GK man, I normally agree with you, but this I have to disagree with, bro. I think the end is near, man. The end is near. The sky is falling. It's just a matter of time before these liberals like get like power and then they completely destroy the West. It's just a matter of time. It's it's not like I don't think it's going to be a long time either, in my humble opinion. The more they get like social dominance, the more we see the ill effects upon the society. I mean, look at this whole thing with what's that kid's name? Desmond is amazing or something like this. This little boy using ketamine and dancing in front of, he's 11 years old, dancing in gay bars and whatever else. Man, how long is society gonna be able to hold up like that, man? It's not gonna be long. I don't think I don't think any society can deal with that too much longer. Guys constantly hacking off, no, let me not even call it hacking off. Let's just call it what it is. Mutilating their bodies, and then saying that they're like the opposite gender, and they're not. They'll never be the opposite gender because the chromosomes don't support it. You either got, XY or XX. There's no in between. So you are what you are. But we've got this type of madness going on. How long is it until like somebody's like, hey, these dudes are a bunch of suckers. Let's just roll over them. When you look at like the Russians and the way they deal with all this madness, there was like some opposition party protest thing going on, and I mean the police were out there beating up their congresswomen. There was some like politician lady, exact story, but it was just recently. Them Russians were out there just whacking everybody on the head, including like their congresswoman lady. She went home bloody. They are not playing out there. And we're out here like playing handsy pansy, stupid, where people out there are just absolutely have no problem with being completely brutal and savage. So it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. You can already see by the unmeasured responses in regards to just like basic terrorism and whatnot in the West, and the way that crime rates are increasing. The response is like dulled. It's like a butter knife on frozen butter. It's completely useless. I mean, that's because the society is becoming soft, and hence, and in turn, it's going to collapse because the world isn't going to be softer. You said I sure hope I'm wrong and you're right. Yeah, I mean, we need a hard reset. I hate to say it, but we need a hard reset. I don't know if you were here for this, GK, but I was saying it. I was like, I'm hoping, and I don't wish, I'm a Muslim, so I don't wish for the death of Muslims, but I'm like, I hope like a whole Bosnia-Herzegovina type, situation pops up to where it's like, we got like the Muslims, fighting basically tooth and nail for survival so that we could take all these leftist liberal Muslims and just throw them to the dogs. I just want them gone, man. I want them gone. It'd be great to those people, and then we're just left with like, something good. Just by fire be purged. Because dead people, man, I can't. Ugh, God, they're disgusting. Just cannon fodder them cats. Just kick them out there and be like, here, you want to kill somebody? Kill these guys. We don't like them either. Astaghfirullah. I can't believe I'm talking about Muslims like that. But they're horrible people, man. They're horrible people. And we need to get rid of them, man. They gotta go. Don't like them. Astaghfirullah. I shouldn't say that. I should make dua, supplication for their guidance. May Allah guide them, Ameen. Yeah, Antonio says social media enable all this crazy leftist and girl behavior. Antonio, I did a video maybe 3 or 4 years ago about this very topic before I even connected it, anything to Islam, I was looking at like the female addiction to social media. I can't remember the title of the video, but I talked about it in there. I talk about it a lot when we talk about down regulation receptor transcription, and basically how women get a dopamine rush and addiction to social media, you know, and seeing how women are like the largest consumer spenders in the world, something like 80% of domestic slash consumer spending in the world. It only makes sense that social media caters towards them, is aimed towards them, and that they play out a big part of their lives on there. So yeah, it's definitely an enabler, and it's definitely not accidental. I mean, it's not even. It doesn't even have to be conspiracy theory type stuff. It's just straight business. You know, if you're gonna do a business, it's best to do a business that aims at and caters towards women. Because women are just huge spenders. So, and then wherever you like have women, you're gonna have thirsty men following them. So no matter what, it's a good market to aim at in general. So social media is no different. GK says, I'm not religious, but I see the West slowly but surely dividing Islamic women from Islamic men. The women will often go liberal if given a chance. Yeah, absolutely. I was talking about this earlier too. I think this was before you showed up. That when I was in London, I met some sisters, man, and they were just on some madness, bro. I mean, straight madness. Stuff I'm not even comfortable talking about. The stuff that they tell me, just like wow, it's just like wow. Because one thing I do is we'll let out an Abuamerican secret here, in terms of vetting. Even though my vetting course isn't probably, I don't know when that's gonna come out. Probably never. Let me just be honest. He's just gonna die with me. He's gonna go to the grave with me. I'm not giving away for free for nothing. So basically, one thing I do is I like to put on an act and a show of being very non-judgmental. It's a lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a very judgmental individual. I hope any woman that's looking to marry me and join my team of women is going to be very judgmental about me. It shows discernment and an ability to look at people for characteristics that are going to be matching, that are good, whatever else. It means you have a standard that you stick to, you're going to follow. You're not. It's a lot to expect from a woman. But so anyway, um, one thing I do is I act very non-judgmental, and it works very well. I'm very good at the act, and they get very relaxed and very loose because women do not want to be judged. They want to have the feeling that they're not going to be judged. And I never let them know. Even when I judge them in my head, I'm like, oh, yeah, she's horrible. I still play cool, and I just sort of like, I ghost them. But I put on the act in the show, and then they get real relaxed, and they start letting out a lot of information. Because I don't know why women like to tell on themselves, but they love to tell on themselves. They love it. And you just sit there, and you start hearing all this stuff, and you're like, to your mouth, it's just like, holy smokes. And this is like, you know, man, the stuff I hear, bro. Yeah. I can't even tell you all this stuff, man. It's just, yo. Anyway, let's move on, man. It's just the stuff you hear, man, and the stuff I've heard, and the stuff that comes from their mouths. Maybe it's just the sisters I'm running into, man, but it's the same pool that all the brothers that I know of, and these are good brothers, are using to look for wives. So it's just, Antonio, man, you know what, man? This isn't like Ilhan Omar where stuff's happening publicly, man. This stuff the sisters be doing privately, man. So it's like, and even though nobody knows who they are, man, eh, as eccentric as I am, even I feel some shame talking about some of the stuff I hear they be doing, bro. You got an idea, man. You got an idea. I think we all know. Ain't nothing good. So let's move on. I see a lot of 30-plus-year-old Muslim women not married yet in the West. What do you think will happen to them? Many of them are saying, I don't need no man. Tawus was an Islamic scholar of the past, and Tawus said two things prevent a person from getting married. He's talking about a Muslim, Tawus, rahimahullah, and he said inability and sinfulness. So, yeah, so many sisters out there will say they're jerking off a lot. This seems to be a common thread. I'll give you this one, Antonio. You said spill the beans. I'll give you this one. A lot of sisters are out there, quote unquote, jerking off, and so they don't need no man. So this falls in under Taus's statement where sinfulness comes in. So they have the ability, but now because of sinfulness, they feel like they don't need to get married. Some people don't have the ability to get married, but they're not sinful. Or some people are just both. They have an inability and they're sinful. But Tawus Rahimahullah, he basically said one of these two things prevents a Muslim from getting married. So those 30-plus-year-old sisters talking about they don't need no man. Bro, come on, man. Come on, bro. It don't even make sense. They have to be doing some sort of dirt. They're either out there jacking off, dildoing it up, or they're out committing fornication. Bro, you gotta imagine, Allah created the human body after the worship of Allah for nothing but reproduction. That women are literally built as vessels to carry children. There is no way they don't have a ton. Bro, come on, man. I hear you, Antonio. Antonio said, I'm referring to religious girls wearing hijab. Bro, it doesn't change, man. It doesn't change, bro. My stance doesn't change. I want to have husnul done of them, but anybody who's out practicing a religion and is a human being, not a space alien, they have human desires. They all want to eat food like us because they all get hungry. They all get thirsty like us because all humans get thirsty. They all got to go to the bathroom like us because when you eat and you drink, you got to go to the bathroom. And all of them have reproductive desires because we all have reproductive organs. Unless we're talking about sisters who don't have reproductive organs. Those things want to be used. That's what they're designed for. There's no way. I don't care how much she reads the Quran, Hadith, whatever else, and sits and prays. She is a human being who has reproductive desires like any other human being because she has reproductive organs. Bro, the power, the strength of the female desires in terms of reproductive behaviors, quote unquote, I'm going to call it like that, just behaviors, is unbelievable. Dudes underestimate how bad sisters want it. And that's not a bad thing to say. People are like, oh my God, how can you talk about sisters like that? No, that's not a problem. Just we have rules and regulations in Islam on how you're going to get it, which is to get married. So, bro, they out doing something. It's impossible otherwise. So they're fasting a whole lot, mashallah. It's just. But bro, there's a tipping point. That stuff you can't keep it in a box anymore. That box wants to get stuff, bro. Be they married then divorced or never been married. They're all going through it. And London, bro, that really brought that to light. I can tell you some stories, bro, that was shocking. Shocking. Let me look at some of these comments here. GK says, Antonio Cotan, speaking from experience, they end up with non-Muslim dudes, and they keeping beta male orbiters too. They also end up with 3 or 4 abortions. I can comment on that, but I ain't gonna get on it because I got a personal story that someone told me about this. So I don't want to talk. I ain't gonna talk about it. If that person wants to talk about it, they can drop it, but I ain't gonna talk about it. Yeah. Dildos. This seems to be see, I don't want to talk about this stuff, man. I'm trying not to throw some sisters under the bus. Nobody knows who they are, but yeah, this is something I also heard about from sisters. You got all sorts of toy shops in the West, and they be getting their toy on. You're right. They're saying they're not meeting the right man, which means doesn't meet their hypergamous filter. Yep, traveling on girls' trips. That's one thing I look out for too, man. All these sisters talking about, we're going on a girls' trip. Sisters do that too. 7, 8 sisters jump on a plane and they go somewhere. It's a red flag, man. I don't care what anybody says. Anytime your girls go on a girls' trip, prior to marriage or during marriage, man, red flag. There's a lot of that going on too. These sisters be flying around the world by themselves, or with some girlfriend. And, the stories I heard about on that stuff too from some of these sisters, that stuff ain't no good either, man. So, but in terms of Antonio, what you're talking about, not meeting the right man, 9 times out of 10, man, there's the right dudes are around them. It's just, what's the word? Social media has alpha widowed so many women, they ain't even met guys, and social media has alpha widowed them. You know what I mean? They automatically feel and believe that they deserve some great super guy, you know, um, some Muslim version of some great actor or movie character, and they won't settle for less. And it's like, yo, you ain't that equal. If that guy existed, you as a woman is equal anyway. So why are you acting like, you know, let's just be real, bro. Come on, man. Women have like crazy ideas of what they are worthy of and what they deserve. You look at how a woman talks. I deserve this. I deserve that. And I made a video about that a while back too. And it's like, no, you feel entitled to. You don't deserve anything because you didn't earn it. You didn't work. There's nothing special about you where you earned, a great man where you deserve that, aka from the merit of your acts, from the merits of your personality and your character traits. It's what you feel entitled to. It's what you want. But reality is there's nothing special about you other than your MAC makeup, which you use to hide the real you. You look pretty, mashallah, with your hijab and whatever else. But when that makeup comes off, you're very, very, very regular. And you can't even cook chapati. So why do you think you deserve this great, super muscular, six-pack Muslim guy who's like making 18 figures, you know, while making Hajj and Umrah at the same time and a memorizer of the Quran, Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim at the same time? Why do you think you deserve that guy? And you just a very, very basic Fatima who can't do biryani. Bro, these sisters are delusional, man. They delusional. Yes, GK. That's something everybody talks about alpha widowing, but a lot of guys forget that like social media and media in general has alpha widowed like tons of women, millions of, you know. Antonio says some girls say I have studied 2 degrees and have this car, and they think they're entitled to high value status. Man, thinking men care about that. I try. This is one of the things I always try. Sometimes I do one-to-ones with women. And that's one of the things I always talk to these women about. I always tell them like, look, stop trying to gain, the things. Stop trying to become what you're attracted to. Imagine if a man tried to become what he was attracted to. He'd be a transgender guy. And maybe that's what a lot of guys are doing. Maybe that explains this entire trans movement. That's basically what women are doing when they study and get nice cars and jobs, whatever else. You're basically becoming a trans woman towards a man. You basically turn yourself to a man, and men don't find that attractive. Just like a woman doesn't find a trans woman attractive. Women aren't out here trying to marry up and have kids with the guy who, wants to be a woman and dresses and acts like a woman. They're not trying to do that. And we're not trying to marry women who are out here, trying to dress up and be and act towards the standards of men. I've never heard a guy, Muslim or not, be he Muslim or not, say, man, that degree really makes her hot. Oh my gosh, that car she's driving, man, I really wanna marry and bang her. We don't care. We don't care. You know what? Doctor, lawyer, fry cook. If you're fine, you're fine. If you're beautiful, you're beautiful. We don't care about all that other stuff. Yeah, blue pill men say that, absolutely. But we don't care. We don't care. Guys talking about, I always laugh at cats when they come at me like, I had some one-on-ones. I've had more than one says, I want a woman I can talk to. About what? What, it's not to say that you don't talk to a woman. I talk to my woman and everything, but it's like, really, our interests are so divergent. It's like, what are you going to talk about? It's either her talking to me and me listening, or me lecturing her, aka mansplaining something, like I am right now, basically doing a YouTube style video. But really, we don't talk. She either talks to me and I listen, or I talk to her and she listens. But there's no real back and forth exchange of ideas going on, because that's not how it works. So it's just crazy when I hear dudes say this. I want somebody I can talk to. About what? You want to talk her out of being attracted to you? One of the number one things that you read about in game theory is shut up. Don't talk so much to the woman. You're going to talk her out of attraction to you. Why would you marry a woman and then talk her out of attraction to you? It's The process is the same. Why do you think we have so many divorces? Because niggas out here trying to have conversations with their women like some woman. Stop emoting like women. I hate that, man. You see how animated I'm getting now? Because I hate hearing that. It's like she doesn't want you to be her girlfriend. Stop acting like her girlfriend. The next brother that comes at me with this whole I want to be her girlfriend, someone I can talk to thing, I'm gonna take a flight to him and just smack the beard off of that dude, man. They're gonna be like, Ahmed, why'd you shave your beard? No, Abuamerican came and knocked it off of me. I hate hearing that. God, it makes me sick. Whew. Sorry, I had to get that out. Man, dudes, and you're trying to save marriages, man. I'm here trying to help brothers and save their marriage, and they are literally like torpedoing it. No, but she want, nigga, yeah, yesterday you asked her what she wanted to eat and she didn't know what she wanted to eat. Now you want to take advice from her on talking about what she wants in a man? Nigga, is you crazy? She don't know what she wants to eat today. She's hungry right now. Ask her what she wants to eat. I don't know. You can hear her stomach going. Why do you think her advice on what she wants in men is going to be any better than her advice on you asking her what she wants to eat right now? It's so obvious and cats just don't see it. It's just madness, man. It's madness. So anyway, I'm not saying Abuamerican ain't saying don't talk to your girl. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is just, oh God, this whole, you think she's going to want to talk to you about MMA and motorsports, and technology. You're a goofball if you believe that. And if you think she wants to talk to you about handbags, shoes, and all her feelings and emotions, you're a goofball too. Yes, Antonio. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what's wrong with guys. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. Low testosterone men want to talk to women and be friends with them, and then they want to talk themselves right out of attraction with their own wives. Khalil G says, I've seen black dudes that say they want a woman with attitude. GK can talk about this. He's been dealing with, with black social media for a while. Um, that's because, dudes, again, they're confused. They've been raised by generations of, single mothers. They don't know anything else. They're completely confused. You know, they, I don't want to throw black dudes under the bus. Um, but in America, we have a serious problem with black men having a problem with being good at being men and being good men. They're pretty bad at one or the other or both. And this is because a lot of them, unfortunately, and I don't want to jump into stereotypes, but there is a large percentage of Black America that grows up without male influence in the household. And if they do grow up with a male, it's like black and white. There's either a good influence and it's there, or it's not. And there doesn't seem to be this great middle ground. You know, so Black America is a special case on its own. Yeah. GK is the pro on this, though. You got to check with him on that one. GK says, I call it sweet and low artificial sweetener. She uses her degree and cars to get high status men to feel as if she's not a gold digger. But her plan is stop working and taking stuff. Yeah, absolutely. When you look at look at Bezos, that guy, Amazon guy. Bezos, his girl isn't stupid. She's all studied and whatever else. When we look at the top 10 richest women in the world, only 2 of them are self-made. Absolutely. And a lot of them, they're educated women, but their money comes from divorce. So, it's just, yeah, you're absolutely right. GK. That's why I said check with GK. GK, black dudes are finished. He and I are on WhatsApp, and he says this all the time. It's like almost every time GK sends me a message, it's like, yeah, because I got huge breaks on WhatsApp. I'm not on there a lot, because it's a huge distraction. And it's like, I'll read a message and say, black dudes are finished. And it will go back and forth. And then a day later, he'll send me a message, black dudes are finished. That's why I said check with GK on this, man. Because he's in the trenches with these cats. And whoo, man. I mean, I'll say it. Alhamdulillah, I don't deal with that side of social media because the stuff he tells me, man, cats is on some just next level illogical stuff, man. They on some next level just hamster wheel rationalizations like women, and we talking about the men here. So now I don't even want to mess with it. And I talked to GK on WhatsApp, so that tells you that he's a rational, reasonable dude. Because I'm not trying to give anybody my WhatsApp. If I don't know you, I'll give you my Telegram. But if you got my WhatsApp, that means you got my number. So it's like, I ain't trying to deal with nobody on WhatsApp who's on some craziness. So that should tell you what you need to know about him in terms of his thinking, Uh, Antonio says black dudes in general are still perceived as alpha compared to others. True Sigma, that's what they compare. Yeah, you know what? I think it's just like I think because of like this we're perceived as like highly aggressive. And I kind of noticed actually, like even in myself, even at like 46, I'm very aggressive. I'm ready to fight. I'm 46. I shouldn't want to be ready to fight somebody at 46. I should be a little bit smarter than that. But I'm ready to knock somebody out. Go jujitsu people, man. I challenged cats in London. Before I went to London, I said like, yo, come out. We gonna go to the gym. I arranged the gym, everything. I started training prior to going to London. That I was gonna fight anybody who wanted to throw down in London. Ain't nobody volunteered to show up. I canceled the gym. I didn't even have to go because cats was scared. Cats ain't trying to show up, you know. So I mean, black guys are just generally, yeah, we are kind of aggressive. I saw some research that actually showed that in both the males and the females, that black Americans in specific, we're not talking about continental Africans, we're talking about African Americans in specific, have higher levels of testosterone than any other ethnicity in the world. And that on average, the average African American has male has anywhere between 3 to 5 times higher standardized like testosterone than any other ethnicity in the world, including continental Africans. So that should tell you something right there about the aggressiveness of African Americans in general. I mean, it would make sense that that if we have like anywhere between on average 3 to 5 times more than the average other ethnicity in the world, there's going to be a considerably higher level of like aggression there than anywhere else. And our women, some of our women, African American women, produce higher levels of testosterone than other ethnicities of men do in general. So, and that comes from, let's just be honest, man. It's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing to say, but it just comes from slavery. We were bred like livestock for specific attributes. These attributes being physical labor. So it made sense that the biggest and strongest men and the biggest and strongest women were reproduced, and the rest were just left to just fall off and not be reproduced. So we were like the best genetic stocks picked for every generation for hundreds of years. And it shows in the way that we perform in athletics. We outperform on almost every single metric, every other ethnicity in athletics except for maybe swimming, because African Americans in general have like negative buoyancy because we have higher muscle mass and lower body fat. So we sink instead of floating. So we have negative buoyancy. So except for water sports, we're killing it everywhere. And that's because of our history. And that's because of high testosterone, which is, of course, absolutely necessary for building muscle. Yeah, yeah, and I made a tweet of this, Khalil, that, the only thing that black Americans got out of slavery was superior genetics. And so it's an absolute shame for us to let ourselves go physically. There is no excuse for African Americans to allow themselves to get fat and out of shape, because we didn't get a 40 acres and mule. We didn't get anything. We didn't get paid. We didn't even get an apology out of slavery. All we got was superior genetics. We got that good, man. When we like go to the gym and muscle just drops on us like that. I go through cycles of out of shape and in shape, and it's like my jump back on shape at 46 years old is unbelievable. Even to the point where I go in the mirror after a month, I'm like, geez, I've only been going to the gym for a month. Why do I look like this? Like, bang, just out of the blue. I don't know if you guys saw, but I was out of shape. I'm not taking steroids or anything. But this is natural working out. And I mean, I put this back on maybe 2 months. And I was like back to being real thin. I can drop this and start up again, and I'll go back to bulking up and like that. That just comes from good genetics, man. And that's all we got out of slavery. What sort of shame is it for African Americans to let themselves go? It's like everything our ancestors went through, all them ass kickings and all that stuff, and all we got out of that was good genetics, and you gonna let that go and turn into a fat slob, man? You gotta be ashamed of yourself, man. You gotta be ashamed of yourself, man. I would be loud. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say maybe I would be loud, but it's like, to me, it's on that level. The one benefit and blessing you got, you allow to go to waste. Shame on you, man. Shame on you. Biceps looking on point. No homo. I love women. Me too, bro. Brother Hodges. My man. My niggas. Yeah, high testosterone. Yeah, generally we do have very high testosterone African Americans. Yes, we do. I actually, I got tested recently, And even though I'm still in the normal range, within the normal spectrum, so let's say this is the normal spectrum of like what a man should be producing in testosterone. Um, at 46, I'm still this is high, this is low. I'm like in this range, so my age is actually catching up to me. To the point where I'm actually like, looking like maybe I might start TRT or something. But I mean, that makes sense. I'm almost 50. I mean, look at me though. I'm almost 50, son. Look at me. I'm almost 50. I'm looking good, mashallah. I'm 3 years short of 50. So I'm looking like, so basically, like I said, in terms of high and low testosterone, I'm about like, I'm in this range right here. So this is high, this is low. So I'm looking at like, maybe like hitting some TRT and going back up here. You know, just imagine what that's going to do for my build. It's going to make me look good, mashallah. But if you're young and you're African American and you're out of shape, man, then shame on you, man. Shame on you. Get together with my man Hodges, my brother Hodges right here, and get yourself a workout program that's gonna make you lose some weight and put on some muscle. My man got that good on them programs, man. I got circles full of dudes that can help you out with anything. Man, what's good, my high T peeps? My brother Hodges, man, this started off just basically talking about it's crazy flies, man. This crazy Ilhan Omar situation and how she like exposed the hypocrisy of Muslims in general when it comes down to how they deal with situations between men and women. And I use the example of that dude Hassanat, how they went crazy on that dude, even though his situation isn't as bad as hers. And what was the difference? But when I brought out like all this black and white news that you can find anywhere on the internet of Ilhan Omar on all her problems, cats are like, oh, husnul done. Oh, they start dropping ayats. Oh, they start dropping hadith about how, overlooking and don't slander and don't backbite and don't spy and don't do this. But when it came down to this dude Hassanat, who is significantly lesser in terms of his problems, publicly and secretly, people had to dig stuff up and fabricate stuff, they ate that guy alive. But Ilhan Omar, all of a sudden, oh, now it's all love, peace, hair grease. It's, let's look the other way. Let's make 1,000 excuses for our sisters and this, that, the other. And I was like, yo, what's up with that, man? And it just exposed the hypocrisy of the Muslims, that we got a bunch of Captain White Knight, save a hoe, feminist type cats in our ranks. Low T bros in the USA, hit me up. My clinic will get you right. There you go. There you go. I'm looking at it myself, guys. But if me and Brother Hodge are going to disagree on this, man, I'm way off topic now. Me and my... What you say? Oh, man, they're calling these crawl out of the woodwork, virtue signaling through the Quran and the Hadith, misunderstood. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. This woman out here making outright statements of disbelief in kufr. Straight up. To the point that, like, you ask the ulama, we like, is this woman's Islam salim? Is it even sound? Is her Islam even valid? Allahu Alam, that's a heavy statement. I don't want to even, like, be associated with that. But it's like, it should be asked. She out here attacking publicly the Sharia of Islam. Publicly. That dude Hassanat, he said he had agnostic doubts and they were private, and cats dug that out, pressured his family, put pressure on his family to expose that on him. He never came publicly at her. He never used his platform to, like, make calls to agnosticism or whatever else. But she uses her public platform to try and crap on the Sharia of Allah. A'udhu billah. And cats are like, make excuses for her. Woman's openly got like 2 husbands, one Sharia, and now she cutting and running out on the streets with some Kafir Chuck dude, you know what I'm saying, who's out here mushing cameras, when they filming her. And like I was saying, who mushes the camera if people are like, oh, maybe it's her lawyer. Is your lawyer really going to mush the camera and be like, no, don't film me? Who's going to do that? Unless you creeping. The only reason you mush the camera is because you creeping. Brothers, we know I'm right. Come on, man. You know you wrong as a man when you mush the camera like, oh, no, don't film me. That means you out with an ugly chick, a fat chick, or someone who ain't a woman, and you got a woman at home. And so you got to mush the camera to hide. Come on, man. Nobody mushes the camera unless you creeping. Anywho, sorry. We was going back on topic there. We was back on topic. We wandered off topic. But I just said, you dead right. Yeah, I know I am. That's what I was like, oh, look at this dude. He came straight for the camera, like, he put his head down. He did that straight, like, like, you thought he was on football, like, he's a stiff-armed the cameraman like he was a linebacker. But he ain't creeping, huh? I was like, oh, okay, all right, sure. I said I got married to 2 women. They ate him alive. Dude was completely Islamically in his rights. Did nothing haram. That came for blood. Allahu Akbar. Yep. Muslim girls' number one rule in dating non-Muslims: take the secret to the grave. Antonio, I can tell you some stories from London. They ain't really trying to hide that stuff no more, man. Cause let me talk about that point real quick before I go on to Brother Hodges' comment. Antonio, you know what? This is one of the problems that I ran into in London. You find that there's a lot of sisters out there running around with these non-Muslim guys, and they ain't ashamed about it. And they're not afraid to hide it. You know why? Because Muslim brothers have become so thirsty that they don't even care. They're willing to run with these women because they are thirsty, because they have a scarcity mindset in regards to women. And so they feel confident that they can expose themselves, and dudes aren't going to care. They know they're going to get married to some Muslim dude no matter what, because brothers have become that thirsty. Now, alhamdulillah, I can say the brothers watching this channel right now, they ain't going to be those types of guys. But there are enough of them out there where they be like, oh my God, she's going to touch my winky in 2 months while she's out running around with Chuck in the streets, doing dirt right now. Astaghfirullah. I'll say, as a let's just, for Husnul Dhan, we'll call this a minority of sisters, but I've heard this more than once. Dang, Brother Hodges, man, that was harsh. Brother Hodges says he didn't want to be seen with a sand digger because he's married. Yeah, absolutely, that dude is definitely, he was trying not to be seen. He was hiding for a reason. He was definitely like, oh snap, if this gets out, I'm in trouble. I guarantee you that guy's in trouble right now anyway. He got busted. Damn, the UK has gone crazy. I saw the warning signs from Muslim Girl UK Twitter. Yeah, absolutely, bro. London Muslims, London Muslims, that section of the world, man, is a hot mess, bro. You got some good people out there, but it's a hot mess. And this goes back to my video when I was talking about the difference between, like, the men and the women in the UK. And this applies both to Muslim women and Muslim men, that you find the vast majority of women, be they Muslim or not, do not want to leave London. There's a small minority who want to, but most don't. And the opposite stands true for the men. Most of the men want to leave London, and they don't want to stay, be they Muslim or non-Muslim, because the environment is not conducive to each to the male reproductive strategy, but it is to the female reproductive strategy. And so women want to stay because it's a thirsty city, and men want to leave because it's a thirsty city, and it's just a hot mess. It's very easy to take advantage of the situation there. In that video series that I'm working on, I'll actually probably, hopefully I'll be launching it very soon, because I've recorded, like I said, over an hour worth of material broken down into separate sections. But basically, it's very easy to take advantage of. I don't see why cats aren't just slam dunking it out there. It doesn't make any sense. You should be, if you're in London and you're a Muslim man, you should be slam dunking left and right. There's no excuse for you not to have 2 wives if you actually want that. If you want to be a monogamous guy, then fine, knock yourself out. That's your business. I'm not going to crap on you for it. But if you want to be a polygynous man in London, there is zero excuse for you not to do it. You're just playing around. You're talking a good lip service if you're in London and you want to be polygynous and you're not. It's just lip service. You're just playing games. I'll be straight up like that. I'm going to call you on your BS. I'm like, bro, you don't really want it. Because it's easy to slam dunk there, multiple sisters. If I lived in London, I'd definitely have 4. How I even missed it when I was there before. I had 2 when I came to London. I came to London and I was there for in the first 3 or 4 months, I had 2 wives, And then after that, I was just cruise control. I just started going to work, whatever else, and just focus on other stuff. But now going back, if I go back there now, definitely in London, I'd have like 4 sisters, easy, no problem. I don't know why cats ain't out there just, like I said, just straight, Pete Jordan dunking on the world when it comes down to these sisters. There's no reason why you shouldn't be, 3-pointing that like all day, Jordan style. You should be out there just killing it. Khalil G, yeah, you know what? Yeah, they don't have game, and you know what? It's not even that difficult, man. I came to find that I always run cocky, funny, and agree and amplify. That's my standard game, because it goes with my character and my personality. And I talked about that in another video. Don't try and run a game that doesn't fit your personality. But I go out there and keep that, bro, and the results are just ridiculous. And it just makes me realize that it's like the level of confidence that I display basically I am the airport type of personality and behavior. The sisters ain't used to seeing that out there. They're used to these meek little dudes who are like, oh please, please touch me. Yeah. I don't know what brothers are doing out there. It's crazy. I'm just out there like just being like this, being like me. And I'm like, I don't care if you leave. If you gonna leave and be upset and be whatever else, block me, whatever else, we gonna bye. You know what? I got, like I said, 8 days. I'm actually like 17 sisters. Do I care if you disappear? Goodbye. So I mean, I don't know why brothers ain't out there like dunking it, but I talk about that too in the video material I made about you know, how to get matches and whatnot. All this stuff is in my video course. Actually, let me go ahead and plug that right now. Make sure you go to Abuamerican.com, get on the email list, and this tactic should basically work anywhere in any major city. It doesn't have to just be London, but the tactics I use, they should be there. And I talk about this stuff in detail about like your profile, how to get matches, whatnot, and then what to do when you get matches, how to look out for particular types of sisters that you want to get rid of, that you don't even want to go further with, ones that are wasting your times, because a lot of these sisters are on these apps for nothing more than validation and attention. How do you differentiate who they are and who's serious about trying to get married? All that stuff's in these videos, and I've actually recorded this stuff. That's why I was looking on my Twitter. If you watch my Twitter, I was looking for a video editor because I wanted to look right. Because I'm actually going to sell this product, and I want brothers to actually have a quality product. So I'm looking for a video editor, to actually put this stuff together right. I can do it myself, but I'm not a pro. So I talk about all this stuff on there, and it's pretty easy. I don't know why cats ain't killing it, man. So I'm gonna give cats the techniques I use. And like I said, when I was there, I matched with 17 sisters, and I met with 4 in the 8 days I was there. And I wasn't even trying. I was just like, you know what? If I meet these sisters, I meet them. I was supposed to meet like double that. I was supposed to meet 8 sisters, but it didn't work out. One of them was working like crazy hours. That's most of them. In London, you find that a lot of sisters are working mad crazy shifts and hours, and so it was definitely difficult for for me to meet up with them. And I wasn't really interested anyway, so I didn't really pursue it that hard. I was very interested in I met up with, and the ones I was like nominally interested in, I was just because of shifts and whatever else and work and this that the other and weekends, I was just like whatever. If it happens, it happens. It doesn't though. Yeah. So yeah, all that stuff's in that video course. What we talking about? Abuamerican says because you have an alpha mindset and they have a beta male mindset, they want to impress the girls by being nice. Yeah, being nice doesn't work. Being nice doesn't work. And even though the dude's like flaming homo, that Jack Donovan guy, he talks about it in The Way of Men, I believe it's called. Is it called The Way of Men? He made a book called The Way of Men. And he talks about that, being good at being a man and being a good man, and the two are not the same. And it's actually like in terms of a thought process, it's something that I never actually put together in my head until I listened to him, and it makes perfect sense. That being a good man in terms of attraction with women is not going to get you as far as being good at being a man. Being good at being a man will get you a lot further than being a good man. Now, Islamically, we combine the two. Islamically, we're supposed to have that perfect balance where because of Islamic rules and regulations, you are a good man, and then you are good at being a man because Islam also mandates that you are a provider, a protector, a warrior in terms of jihad and all this type of stuff. So not only are you good at being a man in terms of the physical, straight, raw alpha attributes that you're supposed to have, the ability to, hack, murder, whatever else, feed, build stuff and whatever else, all that's built into Islam as the provider. And then also with the rules and regulations that dictate our behavior. Remember I was talking about with the vetting system that never changes. Our standard of behavior never changes, whether you're 20 or whether you're 40. Islamic behaviors and manners are all based off the book and the sunnah, which never changes. So being a good man is also inculcated into this. So we are supposed to be the perfect balance. So I don't know why guys aren't killing it, because you can be a good man and be good at being a man because Islam calls on you to do both. But guys are obsessed with being a good man. And this comes back to the original point that I was talking about in this video. That dudes are obsessed with like white knighting, whatever else, and making this a religion of women's rights and protecting women, whatever else, and not the worship of Allah alone without any equals or partners. They've just obsessed on one little micro part of the religion. You know, we are good to women. We are good to women. Prior to Islam, women were treated like absolute trash. You know, the girls were buried alive when they were born. You know, women were just kind of like left out there on their own. And Islam changed all that. But khalas, it's done. It's done. If you're practicing Islam, you're good to women. It doesn't have to become a whole entire narrative of the religion of Islam. It's not. You know, it's done with. We treat women well. That's it. We're done. Just same thing with animals. We treat animals well. Not to say, okay, I'm not trying to put women on the same level as animals, but I'm saying it's like we don't make this a religion of like treating animals well to the point that now we're trying to make Islam into a vegan religion, are we? No, we treat animals well. They're slaughtered in a particular way. You don't even slaughter one animal in front of another. Why are we not now a religion of vegans? We treat animals well. Why are we now becoming a religion of like, feminists and feminist ideology people? Like, it's just goofy behavior, man. People are just going to extremes. And so guys are obsessed with being good men. Good men. And they're not focusing on being good at being a man. And even generally, that's not totally correct because brothers are very well studied. You got a lot of brothers out there with good trades, with degrees and whatever else. But even then, you meet them, they're soft, they're squishy, they're indecisive, they're like, I don't know. And it's like, why? It doesn't make sense. Go ahead, man. I read it. I know. Yeah, I just bought it, Khalil. And I listened to an audiobook. I got everything on Audible, so I got a whole bunch of audiobooks. It's kind of expensive, but I don't mind. And I listen to all this stuff on Audible, and it's actually quite good, man. I recommend it too. Another good one, man. David Goggins. You Can't Hurt Me, man. If you ain't listened to, don't get the book. Get the podcast audiobook, man. Get that David Goggins. Brother Hodges put me on that, man. That thing is wow, man. Whoa, wow. It's good, man. It's one of the best like non-religious books I've listened to in a long time, man. You got to get that on audiobook. GK, my girls often complain that I am not a good man, but I notice that they don't walk away. Probably because I'm good at being a man. Absolutely. When it comes to women, being good at being a man is more important than being a good man. Absolutely. And women will fight this tooth and nail and they'll say it's not true, but it is absolutely true. Being good at being a man is better than being good at being a good man. Sorry.
Thailand King got new part 2
Wow.
to what?
Is he Muslim?
I don't know. But it's official.
Man, my niggas. I gotta give him a high five. Oh, man. Lenny just gave me this right here. Thai King Maha. Whoa, he definitely ain't much. I don't think he's Muslim. What the heck kind of name is that? Vijir Alongkorn anoints his mistress as his official concubine. Army nurse and former bodyguard becomes the royal consort in a bizarre ceremony attended by the new queen. So the man's out here grabbing in multiple women. It's coming back, man. This whole polygynous type thing, man, it's coming back. You can't stop it. It's a tidal wave. Guys are just like, you know what? The world's going crazy. I'm gonna snatch up all these women. But anyway, being good at being a man is more important to women than being a good man. Because being good at being a man means that you can protect, you can provide, you can do all the things that a good man can do already. But a good man can't automatically do all the things that someone who's being good at a man can do. You know, a guy who's a good man isn't automatically a good protector. Maybe he's weak, wimpy, got small arms, can't fight, scared to fight, whatever else. But someone who is good, yeah, that is seriously an alpha move. Khalil, the dude was like, royal concubine, that's my official girl. Hey, queen, shush, take your seat. Dude just like did a whole cabinet reshuffle so he could like bring his main girl, he could bring his side girl up to the forefront. My man, he straight up like shuffled his entire government so that he could make his side chick his main girl. You can't tell me that's a boss move. So anyway, so yeah, being good at being a man is more important to women than being a good man. Islamically, it's supposed to be a balance, but just because of the biology that Allah created us with, being good at being a man is of course superior. They put women on a pedestal, so indirectly they're worshiping them. Yeah, absolutely. And the easiest way to to view this is, if you put someone on a pedestal, they have no choice but to look down at you. A woman doesn't want to look down at you. She wants to look up to her man. It's like, my man is doing stuff. You know, I always talk about this. I got it from Rich Cooper, and he talks about, like, you know, women want to stand at the finish line and they want to bang the winners. You know, it's your race. She wants to be in the orbit and next to a high value man who's doing stuff. She don't want some dude, you know, some lame. You know, if a guy automatically starts, you know, acting and behaving in a way that shows low value to him, then what kind of woman is he gonna get other than a low value woman? So, you know, what's up, little man? I put you on camera, but you too cute. What's up, man? A little fat cheap dude, my son. Yeah, I can't put you on camera, man. You get some evil eye on you, man. But he a good looking dude, mashallah. He Blasian, he black and Asian, looking good, mashallah. So, yeah, moving on. They walked away from all the previous good men in their lives. Yep. Oh, I didn't know Thailand was polygynous culture. I didn't know that. I really didn't. So, anywho, guys, I'm gonna have to call this. I'm gonna have to call this quits. Maghrib time's coming in. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm thirsty. And yeah, it's been like it's almost 2 hours, man. 1 hour and 51 minutes. I just love chopping it up with you guys, man. Sometimes, you know, I gotta find a way to get you guys on here. You know, get guys on and we just like have a whole panel, like an open chat panel, man. Actually, hit me up on Twitter if you're interested. If somebody wants to come on and we just do like an open, like, you know, an open discussion channel, you know, a Google Hangout. That's what it's called. We do a hangout, and I'll get like a couple guys on here. We'll just chop it up, man. Let me know. Hit me up on don't hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on the live chat on my website, Abuamerican.com. You can catch me on the live chat there 24/7. It's on all the time. Yeah, let me know if you're interested, man. We'll do a Google Live. I used to do them with Brother Hodges. I don't know what happened, man. Me and Brother Hodges used to do them, and then something happened. I don't know what happened, man. Time zones or something. I'm in Germany, man, so everybody else is everywhere in the world except Germany, and so, you know, catching up on this European time is probably part of the problem. That I wanted to go on. GK asked me to come on a hangout. What was that, this morning, GK? And I couldn't make it because I was at work, you know. I mean, I think it was like 4 a.m. my time that it would have been, and I'm actually getting up at 4 a.m. to go to work because I'm off early. I'm off by like 1:30 in the afternoon. So I leave my house at like 5 something. So he's like right in the middle of his hangout. I'd have gladly been on there, man, you know, but you know, I'm Monday to Friday. So yeah, it's just a crazy thing. So, but yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know. You're more than welcome to come on. My homies, chop it up, kick it, about whatever, man. Because even though I had the topic of Ilhan Omar here, you know, just basically like went freelance towards the end here. Yeah, thanks, Antonio. All right, guys. This is your man, Abu American. Catch me on Abuamerican.com. You can find all my social media links there. You can catch me on the live chat there. Don't forget to sign up on the email list. And I'm working on this stuff. I have to do all like the technical stuff myself, which I don't know very well. So what? Hangouts is ending now. What you mean Hangouts is ending now? What's that mean? Wait. Before I close this off, GK, what you talking about Hangouts is ending? They're not doing them anymore? It will not be available on YouTube. Dude, you got to send me this link, man. I'm like so out of the loop on this stuff. What the heck? Okay, well, Google Hangouts ain't going to be available anymore. So sorry, guys. I'll have to rescind that offer. Well, apparently, it's not going to be offered by YouTube anymore. Yeah, anyway, go to my website, Abuamerican.com. Get on that email list. And I'm trying to set this stuff up. I'm not technically inclined, but I'm trying to manage it all myself. And when I figure it out, every time I drop an article, every time I drop a video or something, you get an email letting you know. I'll try and do little brief intros and whatnot, and you get that email knowing that stuff is out. I'm not gonna like bombard you guys with emails. I'm on a few email lists. I'm like on Andrew Tate's email list. I think AJ Cortez and a few other guys for like drop shipping. And the amount of emails I get is just ridiculous. It's very, very difficult to keep up. So I'm not gonna try and add on to that and like just completely like flood your mailbox with like stuff because I can't keep up, and I'm an avid reader. So yeah, but get on there, and whenever I drop something, or I'm about to drop something, or something interesting going on, you will get those emails. They will not be frequently, you know, they won't be frequent. They won't be going out a lot. I'm not trying, like I said, to just bombard people like I'm getting bombarded. Sometimes times. Some of these guys, I get emails from these guys like 2-3 times a day. It's just madness. And can you imagine you getting like 2 emails a day from somebody? What your mailbox looks like from one person, 2 emails a day in a 7-day week. It's just madness, man. So anywho, gotta get some other software for that. Talk about it later. Okay, yeah, catch me on WhatsApp, bro. All right, so this is your man Abuamerican. Catch me on abuamerican.com, and I am out. Thanks for tuning in.